All right, let's talk about our digital lives. We're going to peel back the curtain a little bit today and really look at how fragile everything is. I mean, it's wild. We're seeing everything from shockingly simple mistakes to, AI that basically thinks for itself. And our security, our privacy, it's all being challenged in ways we've just never seen before. So, to kick things off, I've got a story for you that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a movie, maybe a comedy, but it's very, very real. And it's the perfect example of how the tiniest, simplest mistakes can lead to absolutely massive consequences. I want you to really think about this for a second. Picture priceless treasures, right? Stuff of immense historical value. What's the one thing you'd hope, you'd pray they would protect with a password that's a little more complex than, I don't know, the name of the actual building it's in? Well, the answer to that question is over $100 million worth of crown jewels. Yep, in a pretty gutsy daylight heist at the Louvre, thieves were in and out in just 7 minutes. So you gotta be asking, how on earth did they pull that off? You heard me. The password for the video surveillance system was literally Louvre. It it just perfectly captures the human side of security failure, doesn't it? It's so absurd you can't help but shake your head. And that makes it the perfect place for us to start today. But here's the thing. That password, it was just the tip of the iceberg. This wasn't just one mistake. Oh no, it was a whole cascade of failures. Get this. An audit had already flagged that exact password as trivial 11 years earlier. Key equipment was running on ancient software from the early 2000s, and to top it all off, the cameras weren't even pointed at where the thieves got in. It just goes to show you, simple neglect can be every bit as bad as some super sophisticated attack. So, while some folks are clearly still failing at the absolute basics, the threats themselves are evolving at lightning speed. We're moving away from simple human error and into a whole new world of autonomous and, frankly, pretty dangerous attacks. And the contrast here is just, it's stark. On one side, you have the Louvre problem, right? Bad passwords, old software, physical gaps. But look at the other side. That's what we're facing today. Malware that evolves on its own, attacks that can analyze encrypted traffic, and fully autonomous AI-driven campaigns. The game has completely, totally changed. Google is really sounding the alarm on this one. They've found malware that uses large language models, the same tech behind chatbots, to literally rewrite its own code on the fly. This means it's constantly changing, making it incredibly hard for traditional antivirus software to catch it. We've gone from AI assisting attacks to AI running the whole show. And it gets even more clever and kind of scary. To get the next threat, you need to understand what a side channel attack is. So instead of trying to smash down the door, break the encryption, these attacks listen at the wall. They look at the patterns of data. Think of it like this. You're trying to guess what's in a wrapped gift. You don't rip it open. You just feel its weight, its size, maybe give it a little shake. That's a side channel attack. Okay, so that brings us to this new threat that Microsoft found, and they're calling it Whisper Leak. Here's how it works. Even if your chat with an AI is totally encrypted, attackers can just watch the patterns, the size of the data packets being sent back and forth, the timing between them, and from that alone, they can figure out the general topic of your private conversation. It means that even with end-to-end encryption, your privacy just isn't guaranteed anymore. And this whole erosion of privacy, it's not always happening because of some direct attack. Sometimes the very systems we use every single day are designed in ways that just expose our information whether we know it or not. I mean, just look at what's been happening. We've seen private, personal ChatGPT conversations just show up in Google search results. We've got a nonprofit that's been scraping articles behind paywalls to train AI models. And now Google Chrome is offering to save your passport and driver's license numbers for you. Each one of these is just another way our control over our own data is slowly slipping away. An analytics consultant really put it best with this question. Did OpenAI move so fast that they just didn't think about the privacy side of things? Or did they just not care? It really gets to the core of the issue, right? In this huge race to build and deploy powerful AI, is privacy just becoming an afterthought? And that ChatGPT leak is the perfect, chilling example. You had users asking for help with deeply personal stuff, relationship advice, business problems, you name it, only to find their private chats indexed in Google Search Console. And maybe the most disturbing part, there doesn't seem to be any clear way for them to get that data taken down. It's just out there. So, with all of this going on, from simple hacks and massive data leaks to these new AI threats, you have to wonder, what are governments and big institutions doing about it? Well, the short answer is they're scrambling. This timeline really shows you the scale of the challenge. Just recently, the US Congressional Budget Office got hacked. At the same time, the EU is thinking about banning high-risk telecom gear. But then, at the exact same time, there's a proposal on the table that could seriously weaken Europe's gold standard privacy law, the GDPR. It's a total mess. And critics are calling this potential change to GDPR a death by a thousand cuts. What it could do is narrow the very definition of what counts as personal data. It could also create new loopholes that let companies use your information to train AI models without needing your direct permission. It's a huge potential shift that really feels like it puts industry needs ahead of your privacy. To wrap all this up, I want to bring it down from this high-level geopolitical stuff to something very, very human. What does this all look like from the other side of the screen? Well, we got some incredibly rare insight from a convicted cybercriminal Kingpin. I mean, that is a chilling admission. This is from a guy whose crew stole millions, and they were targeting small businesses, local governments, even a children's charity. It just shows this profound, scary disconnect from the real people being harmed by these actions. And this quote, this just reveals the reality of that life. It's a world that's built entirely on paranoia. There's no trust, there's no loyalty. Your closest partner one day could literally be the person who sends you to prison the next. And in the end, he says, it all catches up to you. Success makes you complacent, you get sloppy, you make a mistake, and then you get caught. It's this almost sad reflection that no matter how good you are, that path really only leads to one place. Which leaves all of us with this final big question. When a museum uses a password like Louvre, when an AI company leaks our private thoughts, when governments decide to weaken privacy laws, who really foots the bill? At the end of the day, it's not just about stolen gems or lines of code. It's about our trust, our privacy, and the fundamental security of this digital world that we all have to live in.